What's up, guys, and welcome to the Motorcycle Vlogs. Today I'm going to talk about both my bikes, but mostly about the dirt bike. The reason I'm going to talk about both of them is I'm kind of going a different direction with both of them, but the directions are actually swapping. Here, I'll show you. My dirt bike's all stripped down. I'm going to get to that in a minute. You can kind of see they're both side by side here, the Sportster and the Flywing. And the main difference I was talking about is mostly in the riding posture, and really the style makes the style of the bike. You can see the handlebars here on the dirt bike are flopped back upright in the normal fashion. So that's the direction I'm going to go with this thing now. No longer going to do kind of a futuristic little sporty cafe racer anymore. I'm going to go more back to kind of a moto adventure dirt bike commuter. Just it's such a little displacement motor that there's really no sense to do any kind of low handlebars or anything, and it would be kind of a waste of the suspension and just the design of the bike to do any kind of sport rider type bike. So I'm just gonna, instead of reinventing the wheel, I'll just go with what it is and make it to my styling. Over here, back over to the Sportster, and another main reason I wanted to go back to a different kind of bike is that I'm going to do more of a cafe racer with this bike. I had the original stock bars on it, which were really upright, a lot more like dirt bike bars actually, so it is kind of a swap, one for one here. And I was kind of going for kind of a Street Fighter style and rider position, but now I'm not going to go totally low slung like clip-ons. I don't think. This is what I'm thinking I'm going to go with. Here is I got these drag bars on here and shortened risers, handlebar risers. I tried taking those stock bars and flopping them over, but with the shortened risers, which is all I have, it didn't work. So I figure this is kind of a compromise in between the two. I'd actually like them to be forward more, the handlebars forward more. But yeah, so as far as height, handlebar height, this is kind of a compromise. It's really low down on the top of the triple trees. I might want to go with something that's straighter across, not so angled on the grips. If I'm going to use this bar as is, I'm going to have to modify it too. It wouldn't really be as is, but right now the bar stops right about here, the end of the bar, just because this section of the bar isn't long enough to accommodate the Harley controls. It just doesn't fit on there. So I don't know. Everything, all the lines and everything, brake lines and stuff, are kind of cramped up this way. So I'm gonna have to do some more playing around with it, but that's the style I'm gonna go for. I'm contemplating also putting rear sets on it. I was just going to go with the original mid controls because that's stock for the bike. That's the way it's set up to work, and it's it's a good rider position in between the typical Harley forward controls and rear sets. It's kind of just an all around. So it'd be kind of more like a scrambler. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to define this thing. But I'm loving it. the way it's turning out. It's just going really slow. As you can see there, I'm figuring out putting a rear fender on it. It's going to be mounted down to the swing arm. I'm thinking it's going to be about that long, maybe a little shorter. This long right here. Most of the side will be cut away, so it'll be really minimalistic and not really dominate the rear swing arm like it is right now. So back to this bike I want to focus on in this video. Like I said before, you can see everything's stripped off of it. I'm currently in the midst of designing the wire harness for it. I had a little trouble. You can see right here I did a little welding and put this bracket on here that's hanging off the back, and it's also to kind of make the rear end a lot sturdier, because I did hack off the loop that was back here. It's kind of a square loop, just for design wise, to get a light in there, and it was just looking too long, especially after hacking up the rear fender. So I also need a bracket somewhere to hang a license plate bracket off of, as well as I think I'm going to do some sort of secondary rear fender thing. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen this thing where this is the rear fender that I've hacked down, but I don't know if that's going to fly to make this thing legal. And a lot of the enduro or street legal style dirt bikes I've seen have a rear fender set up something like that, where it's angled and it kind of sticks down over the tire there. But I'm putting a brake light in right here. I don't have that handy right now, but to accommodate that and still achieve the same kind of thing, I'm thinking of mounting this excuse me, mounting this tail section here somewhere that'll allow room for the brake light and still accomplish the same effect. Anyways, if you'd also seen in my other videos, I had the beginnings of the 12-volt electrical system started with this guy right here. This is the rectifier regulator. This converts the AC on the bike to DC and regulates it at 12 volts. Well, apparently it didn't like the welding too much, I think is what happened. I don't know. But not too long after I'd done the welding, I fired it up and was gonna, I don't know what I was testing, but I was gonna ride it. And the light, I noticed the headlight didn't work, so this thing had stopped regulating. I don't know if it stopped rectifying it to DC, but it stopped regulating the voltage because it blew out the headlight. And this thing is bad now, as far as I can tell. I tried continuity tester on it in all the different directions, and I can't get anything to go through, so I guess it's fried. It was only a couple bucks on eBay, so not out a whole lot. It has too many wires on it. I didn't know what kind I needed for this bike. It ended up having too many wires anyways. I had it rigged so it worked, even though it didn't work that great. It did work. It did the job. And now I've ordered another one off of eBay. It's actually even cheaper than this one, and it's only a 4-wire, which is what I need now that I know that, because I have 2 wires coming off of AC. I have this green wire, which I thought was one of the hot wires before, but through hooking it up and then eventually just pulling off the side cover to see the stator, I discovered this doesn't actually go to the stator. This is a neutral indicator. It goes to a neutral sensor on the transmission. So I'll probably wire that up to an LED and place it somewhere up on the front. Then I'll have that, or not, I don't know. But yeah, I have these two main power wires coming in that will go into the rectifier regulator and then out to a battery I am going to go with. I was just going to have it a straight wire system. I played around with the guts out of an old laptop battery for a while, but it was too messed up, so I ditched that and I was going to go with a straight system. But the problem with that is that the lights are not steady that way. In other words, as the motor revs and produces more electricity, the lights would dim or brighten and dim depending on the RPMs of the motor. So with a battery, that'll help smooth that out, as well as it'll allow me to turn the lights on before the bike is on. So like the bike doesn't necessarily have to be running to have the lights on, which I think will be better. And so I've been sitting here figuring out how I'm going to route the electrical system, and I started drawing up a little schematic here. I don't know if you can even see that, and forgive my my drawing here. It's on cardboard, and I don't, well, I shouldn't say I don't know what I'm doing. I do know some electrical. I'm not an electrician by any means, and as far as the symbols and everything, I could be completely wrong, but just the stuff that I've been exposed to is what I'm going off of here. So this is it. So coming off the power source, it's going to go through the rectifier regulator to a battery. I'm going to put a fuse on it this time, so hopefully no more, if I do any more welding or anything happens in the system, it'll just burn out the fuse instead of anything vital. So yeah, it's a pretty basic system. It's going to just come off of the bike, convert to 12 volts DC. It's going to go to the battery. Off of the battery, it's going to go to the headlight, the tail light, and turn signals. That's it. And then I also put in here the little neutral indicator, hooking that up. It's not really technically part of the same system. Well, it kind of is. But it's just the lighting system diagram. The bike ignition system is completely separate, and it's, I don't have to do anything with it. It's already in place on the bike and from the factory and all that. So that's where that stands. That's where both of them are right now. I really wish I could just knock out that Sportster and get it done, but it's looking like it's going to be more feasible to get. Man, there's some bad thunder and lightning right now. It's going to be quicker and easier to get this thing done. As soon as those parts get here from China, new rectifier. I also ordered a horn. Here in Washington State, you have, at least to get it inspected to be street legal in the first place, you have to have a horn, signals, headlight, tail light, brake light. And it all has to be DOT approved equipment. So, so yeah, Not a big drastic development to show you at this point, but it's something. And I'll keep you updated. Oh, I was going to show you also, for anybody that has one of these bikes, this is the original manual that I got with it. This might be helpful. I think this is available online in PDF format. You could possibly download, but I figured I'd give you guys a quick glimpse of it. One thing to note is actually right inside here. I bet this is probably disconnected. I haven't tried to call that number, that 888 number. But yeah, apparently you can get help and order parts from calling that number. And there's the hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. Do not call the store. Just gives you some safety tips. It tells you about well, basically a VIN number, but it's a serial number, or maybe they assign a VIN number based off of that. I don't know. I've never registered mine. They did give me a certificate for registration from China. I haven't ever filled it out. Talks about the controls and operation of the bike. Pre-operation checks, starting operation, cold and warm starting, engine break-in. Actually, this thing is actually only just broken in. I've had it for a long time, but I haven't ridden it much. This gives you some maintenance intervals and like what type of oil to use, what type of spark plugs. Just your typical basic owner information. I adjust a drive chain, carburetor adjustment, cleaning and storage, tightening and torques. There's torque specs. That is the electrical diagram for the ignition system. So it's a terrible diagram, and I don't think it's accurate at all. But there's an exploded view of the bike, kind of, sort of. It also has a number system, inventory system, which relates to this parts list. So yeah, that is owner service manual. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up. Like I said, I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. Bye.